I'd like to show you why knowing your why is the start of your journey. Without a strong why, it can be so difficult to reach your maximum potential. My name is Dr. Jason Balara, and every week I meet with real estate investors and mindset specialists that are taking action in order to build a life according to their own terms. We will break down what drives successful people and allows them to achieve at such a high level. If you are a professional wanting to break through, or simply someone that wants to hear an inspiring story, the Know Your Why podcast is made for you. Hi everyone, I'm Jason Balara, and this is the Know Your Why podcast. Today I'm here with Javier and Yessenia Gonzalez. They're married founders and managing partners of Frontline Investment Partners. They are proud parents of two amazing boys, Antonio and Alonso. I like how that's sort of front and center in the bio. And they've been real estate investors for over 8 years. So current focus is multifamily, but I want to give you guys a chance to sort of tell your story, tell your background. But first, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for coming on the show today and taking the time out.
No, thank you so much for having us. It's an honor. It's a pleasure, and we're very grateful.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jason. We're really excited to be here with you.
Awesome.
Thank you for inviting us.
I am very much looking forward to this conversation. So why don't we start? I got to, sort of be a little bit introduced to you guys and your background previously, but I want to let you kind of tell your story in your words, kind of where you come from and what you're up to now, and then we'll dive in from there.
Nice.
Cool. I guess I'll go first, and then Yessenia will introduce herself properly. My name is Javier Gonzalez. I'm half Cuban, half Peruvian, here from Miami, Florida. Born and raised, County of Dade, 305, how they say. And nothing, just a normal upbringing, good parents, good brother, family and friends and all that. I left to life started changing a bit when I served in the military. Actually, I left and I was in the Navy, and then where there I got the honor to serve as a Navy corpsman with the Fleet Marine Force, which is basically you're a medic, combat medic with the Marines. Had a few operational deployments with them. Went to Iraq twice and served our country, and it was very honorable. It was probably the best thing that happened to my life besides, meeting my better half, etc., and my boys and my family, etc. But no, nothing. But basically after that, the medical field was kind of like where I was going toward. Hardworking parents, nothing crazy. We're not very educational or anything like that. So I was one of the first ones to actually go to college and do all the educational route. On top of that, basically I got out and then became a paramedic. When I got out the military, I became a paramedic. Then after that, I leveled up and I became a physician assistant and leveled up. And then I'm actually currently a practicing ER physician in Miami. I work in trauma centers down here, and I'm very grateful to serve back my community. In regards to real estate, we always had that passion for ourselves for real estate. And it started very slowly, and we'll get into the details later. But basically, it's been one of our vehicles that we have been using together to do, and now we're a multifamily.
Awesome. And thank you for your service, actually at so many different levels. So yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate it every level. So that's fantastic. Thanks. Okay. We have now another story to hear.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
This is awesome.
so I'm Yessenia Gonzalez, and so my background is in education, special education actually. I studied for my bachelor's and my master's here locally in Miami, Florida, in Florida International University. I'm Cuban and Colombian. And just like my husband, very similar, story. We had immigrant parents that immigrated to this country, seeking a better life for their children. And so we felt, I think, a tremendous responsibility in everything that they gave to us. We needed to get to the next level as well. So he's my high school sweetheart. So we started dreaming and planning for our lives when we were really young. And we always had these ideas. And I remember us talking a lot about someday building an empire. And so when we were really young, we didn't quite map out exactly how that would happen, but we knew that we wanted that to happen for our future children. So going back, I went to college, and then I moved around with my husband while he was in the military, moved around with him a couple times. I worked as a teacher in the Department of Defense schools, which was a really amazing experience. We returned, he finished his time honorably. We were so excited, to be back home. We ended up coming back to Miami, Florida to be close to family so that when we started our family, our kids could be close to their grandparents. So back to that, we had this idea of this whole empire. One time we were at a marriage conference. Again, really young. We were always ambitious. And, the speaker, I'll never forget, mentioned something about, what do you want to leave as a legacy someday? There were couples who already had children. Some couples had grandchildren. We were really early on in our lives that we were building together. And, we knew that, again, that we wanted to build an empire. And so how could we get there? And empire is a big word, and it can mean a lot of things, and it can take a very, I guess, unique meaning for each person and each family. But we did start thinking, we were each in our prospective careers, but we knew that we needed to add something else to that. And so we started researching, investigating. Meanwhile, we're again working, both of us, in our careers. I went back to grad school. He was doing his PA to MD thing. And this was all throughout, prior to us having our kids. And so we realized quickly, actually he did, and shared with me, that real estate would be a really excellent vehicle for us to eventually build something bigger than ourselves, I guess, for our future children, future family. And so we started by purchasing our first home. That was a big dream come true for us. And our parents were so proud and so excited for us. So that was, the first step, I guess I would say. But then we also always just kept circling back. After we had our children, we had always had the desire for me to be home with the kids. So, I was working as a teacher, as an assistant principal in different schools. And at that point, I started staying home with the kids, started an educational services company through which we provide tutoring and homeschool support to families throughout the state of Florida. But again, we were always ambitious and always thinking about the future and what legacy we would leave for our kids. At this time, our kids are really little. And so again, we kept going back to real estate and trying to figure out how we could get involved in it, because we hadn't really been exposed to it previously, other than just buying our first home together. So at that point, we decided to seek out a mentor, somebody who knew more than we did, somebody who was already successful in real estate, and kind of just started hanging around that person. And then slowly but surely, a group of people who were experienced and successful in real estate. We decided that we did want to start investing, perhaps in single family homes at that time, when our kids, again, were very little. And but in order to do that, we wanted to raise some capital quickly. So we decided to partner in a couple of flips. So that's how we started in real estate, a couple of flips, and then just built a very modest single family home portfolio. Just kind of shifted from there.
It was the introduction.
Yeah. The start, and I think a lot of people, kind of start that way, right? Some level of single family or residential. I wanted to kind of go back to something that you talked about in the sort of building of an empire, right? That you talked about this from a young age, high school sweethearts, and two things there. Like, I think that's super cool to have had, sort of shared goals for a long time from a young age. And I think it's probably a very common thing that a lot of people at a young age think they want to build the empire. They just don't know what that is and or what that means or how to do it. And so then I think a lot of people then just give up and they say, I'm just going to have a job, which is fine. But there's a difference between having that, sort of vision, those ideas, and then going ahead and putting them into action, and to do that as, a couple, as a team, sort of intentionally along the way. It shows a lot of dedication to it, and I'm sure it wasn't easy every step of the way, but I think that, kind of is a really good thing to kind of focus on for other people that are working at this within a couple, whether they're married or not, and points to all levels of partnerships. But the other thing that I thought was a really good point to just kind of hit home on is mentioning that empire concept means something different to everyone. And it's it's true. It's a very good point to make, because so often we probably get caught up in like, we look at the social media of people that are, you know, successful within real estate or successful in whatever field you're trying to, you know, kind of make your mark in, and you see what they're doing, and I think a lot of us, the tendency is to say, okay, I have to do what they're going to do. My empire, I see they have empire, I see what they've done, I need it to look like that. But it's really important to be, I guess, self-aware as to what that means for you, within yourself, within your family. So I'm actually glad that you pointed that out.
Thank you.
No, thanks. Thank you.
When
I mean, regarding that, sorry, cut you off, is it's very important. Like she was saying that we want to do the empire and want to do it together. You could do an empire on your own, that's fine, right? But you know, just like one of our mentors says, like there's two hands, right? One to pull yourself up and the other one to pull the other up. And that goes for the rest of the people that you want to help. But regarding like your actual center team, it was great to have a partner, and my wife Yessenia, who we are doing this together. I know that it wasn't easy at first. She wasn't very excited about it because I'm always having these ideas and trying to grow and all this crazy stuff. And your bandwidth only gets so far, right? So her bandwidth is getting kind of, I guess, a little congested. And she was like, another project, another thing you want to do? And I'm like, I mean, I reached MD, like I'm at the top of that. So what's the next step? And it was just very important to do everything, to bring your spouse along or your partner along, and you guys have the same vision, the same goal. And if all those things align, then it would be great, or I guess it would be very beneficial for both of you guys to maybe do that empire together.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a blessing for us to have that sense of teamwork and have that sense of shared goals from a young age. And yes, I wasn't always very excited about his illustrious ideas. But I've always come along and he's had a lot of wisdom.
You know what's going on.
I know this very well. Yeah, no, you know, maybe this is, I don't know if this isn't meant to be a marriage counseling episode either, but like,
right, I know. So I was like, should I say it?
Yeah, it's, I think this is actually a really important topic that probably a lot of people struggle with, but so my wife is super supportive, but like not really interested in real estate in like that. So it's been she doesn't work with me on that business. You know, she'll help me if I ask for help. She's happy to listen to me blab on about it. But it's I think that when you talk about that shared vision, that shared goal, it doesn't, if you're talking about within a family, it doesn't necessarily have to be like working together within real estate, but you have to have a plan for who's, you know, how are the kids going to be, you know, what's the childcare situation? How are they going to, you know, what about schooling? What about, you know, within the couple, the relationship goals, all of that stuff. I mean, there has to be a shared vision overall of your life, because otherwise if one person's just like, I'm off to do real estate, and the other person has no interest and is sort of struggling with that, like that's where you're going to have actual problems. But it's okay for one person to be not necessarily involved or less involved than the other, whatever. Like, it's just figuring out what those roles are. So I do think, you know, again, not we're not trying to be marriage counselors here, but I think it's valuable information to realize that probably most every like couple struggles with this type of stuff when trying to build any type of business, whether it's real estate or something else. So you know, marriage, having children, all of that is hard, and tacking on business creation and things like that on top of it, like, it certainly takes some effort all around. So it's just great to see that you guys have put thought into that kind of along the way, and like I said, I'm sure that it wasn't always easy, and there's been things that have had to be worked out, but it's a great point to see, like, it can be worked out, right? It doesn't have, you can figure out how this fits together. Yeah. So you're doing, you know, these single family projects. along the way, and then at what point did you decide, oh hey, let's try and switch over to multifamily? What was, kind of the impetus for that?
I think it was more the idea of going forward. It was more along my training. I believe probably when I was done with I was about to be completed with my residency, and I was gonna head home, and it's just like a new beginning, new life plan, and a new lifestyle, really, in a way. I know living under your mean, etc., all that good stuff, for financial planning, etc. But really, it was like just the idea of having a larger income, more equity, everything coming in more.
Yeah.
I guess I needed to start thinking bigger, and that's where that idea came from. Really, it was just going to be a normal snowball effect where one house every year, or one or two every year, and roll them over until 10 years. We have one house per year, 10 houses, etc. We're out. But I don't know. It was just what's bigger? What's the next level? And
How
commercial,
do we get there quicker? I remember
yeah,
that was the question. We sat down
true.
when he was finishing, we were nearing the
Yeah.
end of his residency, and we sat down and kind of had we had a few strategy sessions where we sat down, we were really intentional about moving back home, where we'd be living, how we would be um, kind of administering our finances, and what the next 5 years would look like, 10 years would look like. Um, and I just remember that we were initially thinking, the single family home per year as an investment strategy. And him, so like when we would sit back again and kind of review our plan again, it was kind of like, well, isn't there a way to do this faster? So then he went into just his own research. I continued, okay, single family homes, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. He kind of went into his own research and came across multifamily real estate, how that works, what it could look like. And then just opened that world up to me.
Yeah. And as you know, I mean, commercial real estate goes into so many subspecialties or et cetera, right? There's storage, there's hospitality, there's industrial, et cetera. So we chose multifamily because we already had that basis from the single family and duplexes here in Miami. So I think that's where it came on. We thought economy of scales. I think this is the next level. Let's invest in ourselves. And then that's what we did.
Yeah, and by investing in ourselves, he means we decided to really educate ourselves on this to kind of avoid mistakes along the way. I mean, I know mistakes are inevitable and they're part of learning, but we wanted to accelerate not just the investing process, but really accelerate learning how to do it correctly. We didn't want to just go into this blindly. And so at that time, we sought out, mentorship again, joined a great community of multifamily investors with a specific emphasis on multifamily investing. So that's been a real blessing too, to be part of that network, and grow alongside some partners, also learn from other more seasoned partners. That's been one of the best investments that we've made. So as far as time and resources go,
being part of that ecosystem and high I guess like-minded individuals, positive people, like that has been amazing.
Yeah, it does. It makes a huge difference. The mentorship and the guidance along the way. It really, especially if your goal was how do we do this faster.
right.
That's one of the I think the main benefits of any of the mentorship programs is this sort of shortening that learning curve and having people that have done it, been doing it, and you can kind of bounce these ideas off, maybe decrease some of the mistakes, as you said. I think that's
Right.
important to. It's interesting. So you touched on, sort of you were moving from your residency into, being a doctor, and this is something because I have trained surgical residents in veterinary community. Like, I'm super passionate about this. Like, it's just, it's something that it's so great that you were intentional about that and saw, hey, look, I'm going to have a fairly dramatic increase in my income. What am I going to do to not just kind of screw that up? Which I think is what a lot of us do. Like, you're like, go from, because I think a lot of people outside of the medical field don't necessarily realize the time involved and like how long you are either not getting paid, paying, or getting paid very little. Like though,
Very
like
little.
Right.
it's like a decade or more of
Yeah.
time where
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
happening, and where you're, and so it's really easy to come out of that and say, you know what, I worked so hard, I really busted my ass, I deserve this now. And you did all of that's true. However, if you can look into this 3 years, 5 years down the road and stay in that sort of financial mindset of an intern, a resident, a student, whatever it is, you're living on that, sort of lower income, and take that difference and invest it, whether it's actively, passively, whatever it is, get it invested, even whatever the vehicle is, but just do something smart with it for a few years. You're going to change the rest of your life. Like if you can hang on for just a couple more years, I know I get it. Like and I've talked to, my residents as they finish them, like, listen, just realize, like, take that extra money and do something smart with it now. Like, don't finish your residency and buy new cars and the biggest house you can get. Like it's
Yeah.
like it's
It
easy to want to
happens
do that
all the
stuff.
time.
It does. It happens to, like,
You see it
so
happening all the
often.
time. You're like,
Yeah, it's like finish finish medical school, buy BMW. It's like that's the recipe. And it's
that's
like,
what it is.
don't do that. Like just hang on another couple of years. Like you'll be so happy that you did.
Yeah.
Future you will be so happy that you did. And it's
Yes.
just like all the sacrifice you put in to get to that level. It's just something that's your opportunity to realize that your lifestyle is already sort of catered towards not having a lot of money. Just keep it that way a little bit longer, pay no
Yeah.
attention, have it go into its own special account, and get there, achieve your life goals faster because you're doing it with passive income. It's just something, like I said, I get pretty passionate about it. And it's really cool to hear that you were intentional about that just coming out of medical school, because it's probably something, I don't know, if you're, I know you're sports fans. I don't know how much you follow like the NFL, because the combine just happened, right? The NFL combine just happened this weekend at the time of this recording. It just happened. So one of the things that, like, people, NFL rookies, they go through training, like, don't blow all your money. The average career in the NFL is 3 years, right? So don't think you're going to make $30 million for 20 years. Like it's not what's going to happen. And so they have a lot of education on this. And I think that should be a part of medical training.
Yes,
Right.
we agree with that sentiment strongly. Actually, the name of our investment firm is Frontline Investment Partners. And it's because we have this passion to reach back out to those frontliners. He's always been on the front line. And in education, in our own respect, we're also frontliners, right? And you understand as a healthcare professional, as well as a doctor as well, a lot of these frontliners don't, either don't have the knowledge, don't have the experience, don't otherwise have the opportunities, to invest, or even to know about how to maybe more wisely steward our resources and the things that we do have. So we're really passionate about that, about reaching back out and providing education when possible, providing opportunities, when possible. So that's something that we definitely have in common with you.
Jason, what you said, you sound very passionate about. I completely agree with you. Like, sounds like I'm like the same stuff you're saying is the same stuff that I say to my guys. And I'm not here to make a buck or anything like that. It's after a while, your mindset changes. I'm like, I have money already, right? We're okay. We've been practicing for a couple of years, etc. So it's like, I'm really just trying to be like, help you, man. And your mentality switches over to that. And then you solemnly believe it in your heart, right? And that's what it is. And I tell these guys all the time, because I help train also ER residents here in Miami, and they become family and friends. You spend more time with them, you see them grow, and you're like, man, well, let's help you grow with stuff a little bit outside of medicine too, and it's great, man. We've had actually some success helping them. We're all frontliners, and that's where that name came from Frontline Investment Partners. Is we're all frontliners. during COVID time or whatnot. And
During wartime.
wartime,
Yeah,
yeah.
all the
So
time.
military try to help those guys out too, and everybody that we could. So that's where that name came from, and specifically. And hopefully we can reach out to more. And then you start switching up, right? It starts from helping out your immediate friends to now helping out residents and people that are gonna start their careers, helping them get on a start on a good foot, on a good path, smarter. And then maybe even one day grow even bigger, help out United States community bigger, and that's one of the whys. And I know it's your show, but that's one of the whys.
Yeah,
We're
no,
leading up, we're leading up.
it's great. I mean, it's so needed. And I did it. Like I made the silly mistakes. Like I did that stuff. I was like, I got out of finished my residency. I made more money than like, it wasn't like I was tremendously wealthy. It was just more money than I had ever had.
Right.
And it was like, I paid off credit cards, and then I didn't know what else to do. I literally did not know what else to do once I paid off credit cards, other than like, I guess I'll buy a house. Like it was just kind of like this.
Yeah.
You spend so much time educating to become a great doctor, a great lawyer, a great educator, whatever it is. You spend so much time to reach some of these, high level professions, and you're so focused on that. It was like, I don't know if med school is the same, but I mean, like in vet school, like we had a test, at least one every week, like for the whole year. I mean, it was just like constant tests. And it's like, so you're just basically always trying to pass the next test. None of those tests are on how to take care of yourself afterwards financially.
No.
Like never, not in grade school, high school, college, medical school. Like no one was ever like, hey, guess what? You're going to make a bunch more money. Like, and that's why people, back to sort of that, athletics analogy, like professional athletes, same thing. Like a lot of them, it's like, it's more money than anyone's ever seen, and you don't believe that it could run out. And so like so many of them go bankrupt. I don't think it's not the same level of bankruptcy in the medical professions, but that's only because the careers can be longer, right? Like you're not generally not subjected to being tackled by other 250-pound men like that. You don't have to worry about things like injuries so much, although you can, people get medical problems and things like that. So you can't be sure that job's going to continue for 30-40 years like you might expect. So it's, I love where the name comes from. I love that sort of sentiment of let's help these people that are our colleagues, and sort of help them get out of the trap, right? Like let's do medicine because we love it. Let's be educators because we love it, not because we got to pay for what we just bought, right? Like that kind of thing is just it's a hard cycle to get in. So anyway, obviously I get passionate about it. Let's get back to you guys. So within multifamily, you did the mentorship. What are you focused on? What's kind of you're both still working jobs, correct? Or do you both still have W-2 jobs?
Personally, me, I definitely work at my job. It's one of my whys, right? I'm worked so hard for it. It's very rewarding every shift that I go in, right? And I help somebody. I like, just like you have that poster back there of Batman. I seriously feel sometimes when, I don't know, it must be the coffee I take before I go to work, but I'm always on a high, and I'm like, all right, let me see, like Batman, let me see who I can help out today, And that's how it feels. It's truly, it's genuine, and it's authentic. So I really go to work for that reason. And then everything else is a plus, right? The people around, then we start talking about real estate or whatever. I'm known as the real estate guy or whatever I can help you out with, I'm here to help you, seriously. So it basically started off with that. And I want to continue doing that. Maybe like you said in your words, not because we have to, but because I want to. So maybe it'll change in the future. Maybe a little less shifts. Maybe work out something with night shift because the family doesn't like that one too much.
That's my goal. Get rid of the night shift.
Yeah. So definitely
I have that goal
somewhat.
for you as well. That's
Yeah,
night
thank you.
shifts are the worst. I've done it. I don't yeah. I want
I
you to
know.
be able to get out of that too.
Thank you. It
Thank you.
comes with the territory, right?
Right.
It is what it is, and emergencies could happen at any time. So it's something I'm okay with, I guess, in a way. The other thing is, yeah, when I'm off, it's sometimes I'm never really off. You know, it's I'm here to help out our other business that's doing very well is our real estate business, and the one spearheading that is really my wife. She's doing that full time. And I'll let her you talk about it because you're the one doing
Yeah.
it. I mean, she's
So I've continued with our educational services business, again, that, overseeing the tutoring and the homeschool supports throughout the state of Florida, under the educational services of Miami. I also homeschool our kids. We homeschool our kids. Um, and they are in 6th grade and 4th grade. They're our number one why, Antonio and Alonso, our pride and joy, right? And so that we take that very seriously. We're really thankful that we have the opportunity to do that, and we get to really emphasize on just like biblical principles and family values, and of course, the educational objectives that are so important. But we also make sure that our kids are well versed in financial literacy, at developmentally appropriate levels, according to their ages. And just even learning about entrepreneurship, and they get to be very hands-on with us, we get to be very hands-on with them, and everything that we kind of have going on. And we work together, as we call we call ourselves the GFAM team, the Gonzalez family
yeah.
team. And so, we're all important members of this team. Um, and we work together kind of on everything. So
Yeah, for real estate, she's
yeah.
so we kind of yeah, we kind of try to I guess in a way since I have, the networking and everything, I kind of do like capital raising, I worked acquisition and things like that. We go work, due diligence. I bring the kids along sometimes
Yeah.
and all that. And then Yessenia is really kind of like an everyday job. Like she's the one who kind of manages everything. She does asset management. We're doing property management, as well as even, like investor relations. Yessenia's super friendly, and she has more time really in regards to like being able to put herself throughout the daytimes if I'm working. But she gets it done. She
Yeah.
gets it all done. So praise
Thank
to
you.
her. She gets it all done, and I'm just here when I'm off, like ready to work. It's
Yeah, it's like his day off, and I'm like, listen, this is what we have planned for
yeah.
the day.
I'm like, dude, I
Here's
just
your
worked
list
all
of
weekend.
tasks. Yeah.
This Monday is my like Saturday, but it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But listen, we're still young, we're still hungry.
And we have a good time doing it
We
together,
love what
which
we
is
do. We're
nice.
still healthy, thank God, and we're able to do it, and like short-term pain, long-term gain.
Yeah.
So it's slowly, it's that's the mindset, right? And that's where
It's
we're at.
yeah, it's you know, you're building for the future, and it's
Yeah.
I think you hear that sort of, it's cliche, but I think a lot of cliches are just they're cliches because they're kind of true. But it's like like you said, like that short-term pain, long-term gain. You're building for the future. The idea would be that you do this now, you put in the work now, so that somewhere down the road it's pays off, and now you don't then you get the opportunity to not work as hard as you are now, or as we said, you're doing it because you want to. And I think it's the saying is if it was easy, everyone would do it, right? So that's why, and that's fine. Like some people don't want to do this, some people don't want to be asset managers, they don't want to do this, but they still should get invested in real estate. They still should be investing in their future, just passively, right? It's no, there's no, it doesn't mean that you just forget it and say, I guess I don't want to do that, I'll never be able to get there. Like, you don't have to be the operator, you don't have to be the asset manager, you don't have to own your own duplex or whatever. There's ways to be involved and get all of the benefits just as a passive investor with you, with us, with whoever. Like, find someone that you know, like, and trust, and work with them to grow your wealth passively. Take that money that you're working hard for and put it to work for you. I think it's just a really great sort of messaging that I think that you guys have, in just family aspect, working together, working so hard and being intentional about it. I love it. I think it's a great sort of picture of I don't know, like the modern family, like this is what
Yeah.
you want to look for. Like it's different than what it used to be, where it was like, yes, you should go to, 40 hours a week, for 40 years. Like this is a better way. Like, let's build for the future by working harder now, so that, and having the kids be a part of it, bringing them with you on the, the due diligence trips. Like, I can't tell you, like, my kids are a little younger than yours, I can't wait to bring them. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot wait till I feel like, and like my son's not far off. So I'm so looking forward to, like, hey buddy, you want to hop on a plane? We're going to go look at
So
these
cool.
properties that, that we own, right? Let's go look at these properties that we own, or that we're going to try to buy, and like, see, like, just have them exposed to it and learn the value of hard work by seeing it, not just telling them you have to work hard. Like, look at what mom and dad are doing, and look why, right? Like, that's the message to be sent to them, and to, other people, specifically, hopefully within our community, our professional communities.
I love it. I love it. That's golden.
Well, all right, let's switch gears. I want to get to ask you the questions that I ask every guest, and I think you've touched on some of this a little bit already, but of course, the name of the show is Know Your Why, and I want to know your why. You guys can answer all of these questions individually, together, however you want, but let's just kind of, I want you to be able to highlight your why, and what really drives you.
The deep whys is really our family. Our family, and I know everybody has that, right? But once you have kids and all that, it becomes so solidified and so real. And you start thinking and actually appreciating your probably your parents' whys. You are their whys. So it just keeps on trickling down. And I would have to say that's our main why. Otherwise, for me, like I said, it was my job, of how hard I work, helping the community, and expanding and outgrowing, outreaching. All our whys are how much we can go. Yesenia's is pretty similar. And
Yes, definitely. Our children, being able to build that legacy for them, letting them know that they don't have to play within certain limitations. They can go as far as they want to go. And I think we're getting there. I think they're seeing that. That we don't have to play along with anyone else. It's like what we really want to build is not just financial freedom, but really like time freedom and location freedom and just personal freedom. And so having that and giving them that, letting them see that from a young age, I think that's our main why. And then just being able to give back, that's always been front and center. We, being able to serve others just in different ways, within the community and even beyond. We're also co-founders of a nonprofit organization called the Living Hope Foundation. And so, we've partnered up with other members from this network that we're a part of, and we're able to give back through providing medical supplies and just for basic needs and even educational opportunities. Right now, it's been focused in Southeast Asia, but we definitely have, the plans to expand that, probably to Latin America very soon as well. So being able to first our children, our family, that generational legacy, and then, being able to give back and to serve. That's our why. It's
amazing. Can you name the nonprofit again? It's not in your bio. I want people to know this. I think.
Oh,
this is really
thank you.
important.
Yeah, we should have included that. It's the Living Hope Foundation.
Okay. All right. Living Hope Foundation. I'm going to check it out. Please, people listening, check it out as well. It sounds like a fantastic cause. Next question for you, and this one's sometimes fun to let you answer for each other, but the question is, tell us something about yourselves that maybe isn't common knowledge, special skill, a hobby, anything that you're sort of comfortable sharing to let people know you better.
Oh, cool.
And you don't have to answer for each other. That's not a rule, but whatever you're comfortable with.
I think a cool one is that we used to be salsa instructors.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
When we were
both of you together?
Yeah, together when we were on
awesome.
the military bases.
I was on the base, and we're not these crazy.
Yeah, it's
Like we're
by
not like
any
gonna be
means. We're
capturing
not like
dancers or anything
professional
like that.
dancers.
But it was cool. It was really a good time, and
We were
so I
really
used to.
young, 4 kids. We had more free time.
Yeah, I used to DJ,
Yeah,
right? And then I
that's
used
another
to,
good
so
one.
I
Yeah,
used to DJ, and before that we would do basic to maybe intermediate beginner salsa lessons.
yeah.
We used to get a
It's
little
amazing.
stipend for it, and I was
Yeah.
like,
On the
okay,
base.
little
Yeah.
side hustle, and
Hey,
we used to teach basic salsa, and it brought a great community together. The whole
Yeah.
base was
Yeah, I'm
there,
sure.
and we'd have like 50 people show up, and
On
it was
Friday
wow.
nights, salsa night.
Friday night. It was the base,
It
so
was
It's
fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, I'm sure it was like a blast for everyone involved, and yourselves included, I'm sure, and then also get a stipend for it. Yeah, why not? That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. That's
free cocktail at the bar. It was great.
that's great. That's great. Yeah, that's fantastic. When people hear this and they want to reach out, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Oh, I would say through our website, frontlineinvestmentpartners.com, or just frontlineinvestmentpartners@gmail.com. I think those would be the two best ways to reach out to us. Yeah. And we're always happy, to connect with other like-minded individuals, or just find if someone feels like, there's something that we can do to help. We're more than happy to do that anytime, just to connect and see how we can serve and bring value.
Yeah, that's how this is all about, right? It's about connecting with good people, like-minded, and how we can help each other, right? You truly start believing, like, how can I bring value to this person? And if there's any way that we could help, that's what it's about.
100%, 100% agree. Foundation is on the website too. They can, is that?
Yes,
Can you put
yes.
it?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, should be there. Yeah, they're all connected.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Final question for you, and I guess this is a good one to answer separately, but what piece of advice would you give to someone getting started in real estate? Something, from your experience, or what would you tell them to get them kind of going and headed in the right direction?
I mean, my advice kind of like is very similar to yours. I say it all the time to these people, to anybody, right? I'm always like, try to see if you can get involved, right? It's very important, just like you illustrated, like I'm always doing that as well. I'm like, listen, you got to decide if, you can be active or passive. And that's huge because a lot of people don't know that, right? That new accredited investor thing used to be a thing of the past. Now you can have like sophisticated investors through 506Bs, right? Versus a C, an accredited investor, and a lot of people aren't, but now they have access through maybe people like yourself and myself, like and our team and our corporations, or somebody else that could give them access to it. So there is access. You just gotta, reach out and stuff like that, but it doesn't mean you have to go and change the toilet and property manage and raise a bunch of capital. And it's not. It could be a very passive thing, and I think that's important, but the main idea and the goal is to start getting involved and diversify your portfolio. The way stocks are going, you don't know. So it's just an option. It's an opportunity, and take action.
Yeah. I would say know what your goal is, identify your goal, right? And then depending on that, get educated and network, and don't wait. Yeah, move forward with that.
Yeah.
I think that's a
Great.
plan.
Taking action and just marry someone who will change the toilet for you. That's the
Make that phone call.
That's how Yessenia is going to do it for you. She's in charge of taking care of all of that. You guys,
Absolutely, this is great.
I'm not doing that stuff. Yeah,
icing on the cake.
exactly. No, guys, this has been great. I really do love kind of the message behind what you're doing, and the life that you're creating for yourselves and your kids and the community. So thank you for coming on and sharing. Thank you for giving us all this advice and the value that you've brought to the show today. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, I hope it brings value to everybody that you're listening. Like I said that before, that just get involved. I don't think we touched on that, so that you guys have an idea of just getting involved. We started with the single family, the flips. Then after that, we did limited partnerships just to get involved. We did LPs. Then we did joint ventures, a couple of joint ventures, to learn all the intricacies of what it is to be like an active role player. And we like this. So now we're doing syndications. See, so we've been just trying to do everything. Some people go all the way big, some people don't go at all. So I just wanted to put that out there so that you guys know that, you can grow one
No
step at a time.
limitation.
You can
Yeah,
go one step
yeah.
at a time
Yeah.
and learn
Yeah.
wherever it is that you want to fall, but just get involved. It's going to be good for you and your family, and bring generational wealth to you guys.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely
Thank
agree.
you so much for
Thanks,
having us
Jason.
today,
Cheers,
Jason. We really
Yeah.
enjoyed our conversation with you. We're honored and humbled that you invited us. And we're thankful for the audience that's listening, and just wish blessings for everyone listening.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so glad that you're here, and I know the listeners are going to love this. So when you hear it, please do like, rate, and review so we can get more amazing guests. The show really grows with that reach. So thank you so much again. I do appreciate having you both on today. It was awesome.
I'd like to show you why knowing your why is the start of your journey. Without a strong why, it can be so difficult to reach your maximum potential. My name is Dr. Jason Balara, and every week I meet with real estate investors and mindset specialists that are taking action in order to build a life according to their own terms. We will break down what drives successful people and allows them to achieve at such a high level. If you are a professional wanting to break through, or simply someone that wants to hear an inspiring story, the Know Your Why podcast is made for you.